Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with a catch-up of last year's December daily. So I never actually finished my December daily for 2018, mainly because once December was over, I'd fallen a bit behind and I kept forgetting to get my photos printed. And I sort of got caught up with other projects by that stage. So I have been working on this on my own off camera in the lead up to December. I would love to have it finished by the time December starts, but I think realistically it's probably not going to happen. So I'm not too worried about it. I am just going at my own pace. I have all my little memories journaled and all my photos now, so there's no rush. I sort of think that you can take as long as you like. There's no rules. So yeah, I thought I may as well pop on and film some of these processes for you guys. So this page I'm doing here is just a bit of a filler page. So as you can see there, I have all my photos printed and popped into the pages that I want them to be. And I have a few extras, mainly the sort of inside cover of my pamphlets that I've made. So I'm just cutting some strips here, and I added some of that gold glitter washi as well. And I'm going to pop in this, it's a journal card that's off a cut apart sheet from the Echo Park, one of last year's Echo Park Christmas collections anyway. And I'm just going to go around the outside of that with my white Uniball Signo gel pen. Just give it a bit of a doodly border. Just nice and relaxed and messy. And I'll also go in with this and add a few little stars. The journaling card says, have a glistening, sparkling, shining, glittering Christmas. So I thought the little glittery stars were appropriate. Popping into my Me and My Big Ideas Happy Planner sticker book. This is the seasonal one. I've had this since last year and I have used the heck out of this. I popped that little gingerbread man in, but he doesn't stay. He looked a bit awkward to me, so I will pull him up. But I really love these poinsettias, so I'm just popping those in. So I'll just peel him up. They're clear stickers, they come up quite nicely actually. And I'll just scooch that one over a tiny bit. There we go. And I think that's it for that page. I do actually go in and do the inside cover off camera, so you'll see that in the close-ups, but not in this video. So I am just moving on to the next day. So I'm leaving that left side blank because I want to put the ornament that my Nana buys my family. My Nana buys me an ornament every year. So I want to put a picture of that there, but I don't have a photo of it because we didn't put any photos, we didn't put any of our breakable ornaments out last year because Violet was, toddling around and pulling things down. So I don't actually have a photo of it, but I will take one this year when I pull everything out of storage. So I'm just going to leave it blank. I've just taken some of that Echo Park paper, the snowflake paper, and cut that to size. Now I am popping in with this journal card. I've just cut out that sort of large label section because I thought it would be a good spot to journal. I do want to do a fair bit of journaling on this not layout, this page, I suppose. So this is from that same Echo Park collection, and it's the Advent sheet. So it's got all the days of the month, and that's what I've been using to number my days mostly. So I've just cut that out and sticking my photo down. And I do trim this down a bit. It was just a bit of an awkward size there, so I'm just going to snip a little bit off each edge, and then it will sit just nicely there above the books. So this is a picture of all the, well, not all the books, but the main Christmassy books that me and my kids were reading this year. Just popped in a little gold foiled heart there, and I am just going to journal about how reading Christmas books is one of our big family traditions. We always really enjoy it, and these are some of the new and the old that we are enjoying this year. So there we go, that's pretty much done I think, so I'm just going to stick that in. Nice and simple. I'm trying to keep everything quite simple, especially as I'm behind, so I am not going too fancy. I'm trying to keep things simple and not two-dimensional so that my booklets don't get too fat. So here we go. I'm punching out my number, but I do end up regretting doing that, so I will go back in shortly and fix it, but for now I've just put that there. I'm going to do a bit of a grid layout on this one. I'm not sure why I decided to do that. I think I saw this little Christmas tree square, so there are quite a few squares on the advent sheet there. You can see the little hot chocolate Santa mug. That I thought would be cute, so I just pulled those out and decided to do a grid layout. So I've just trimmed all those down. These are from some Simple Stories. I think they're the vintage Christmas like snap card collection, and there's a bunch of little 2x2s in there, so I pulled out a few of those. I'm also going to take this little ornament paper from Echo Park and chop that into a square. Add that in. Okay, so here you can see where I pulled in the offcut where I punched that number out, so I'll just end up gluing that straight down. Just fiddling around with my placement, trying to decide where I want all my little cards to be. I want that Hello December to be visible, so just mucking around here. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue everything down. Just getting all that excess tape away from the edge there. Oh, excuse my head, sorry. Usually try to cut that out, didn't realize. Okay, so here I'm just going to glue this bit down, and then I am going to pop the number up on a little bit of foam squares. So what I actually do is grab my, I've got some foam squares from the dollar store that are very, very thin, so they're hardly dimensional at all. So those are the ones that I'm going to use here. As you can see, just pop those on. Okay, now I'm backing my photos just on a little bit of white paper, just to give a little white border. I do tend to do this with most of my photos, especially if I'm not going to do any more photo matting, so I'm pretty sure on these I just do the white and leave it as it is. Okay, just trying to decide here because I have kind of an awkward gap here, so I thought I would mat this one. I didn't want to fill in all the bottom of that page with little grid squares because I need a space to journal. So there we go, that just helps that photo pop out a little bit more on that white background. Just wanted one more square, so I'm just chopping up this little Santa. And this is one of the days that I visited my friend and her new baby. He's not new anymore, he's nearly 1. It goes so quickly, but he was new. It's a really fun little day. So I'm just going to glue down the photo of him, and I'm just going to cover up Santa's face on that mug because I don't really like it. I don't know, I didn't like it, but I love the little sort of whipped cream and the candy cane sticking out the top of the mug. I like that you can still tell it's a mug of hot cocoa or something. Okay, so I'm just shoving this all the way to the right because I want that space down the side to journal on. Okay, now I'm looking into a title, and I start with these out of my sentiment foil sticker pad, but they just weren't showing up. You couldn't see them really. They were fading too much into the background, so I peel those straight back up, and I end up going in with my Kaisercraft white little letter stickers, and I'm just going to budge them up so that they're on the little 2x2 grids, and you can see them a lot better there. So I'm going to use those to spell out baby, and then I'm going to come in with these strappy thickers. They remind me a little bit of candy cane, even though they're not red and white. They are rainbow stripe, and you can get rainbow stripe candy canes, so why not? So I peeled off all the sticky and probably about half the chipboard. I just wanted them to be really thin, so I am just gluing them straight on the page, and I almost immediately realized that they are again blending too much into the background. So while that glue is still wet, I pull them straight back up, and I've left behind some of that chipboard, which is fine because, like I said, I'm trying to keep them quite thin, and I'm just popping them onto a bit of scrap white paper that I use to mat my photos. I'm going to trim that down nice and thin and make a little bit of a banner out of it, just so those letters are really pop. And then I'm doing a barely there fishtail banner on the ends of this one, so just a very, very subtle fishtail banner there. There we go. And I'm sad that I'm covering up part of that Christmas tree, but you can still see it peeking out, and I'd prefer that to not being able to read his little name. So I'm going in with my Pigma Micron now and doing my journaling. And again, just saying that we got to catch up with some of our very best friends and meet little baby Leo. We had a wonderful day. And then I decided to go around and just outline the white photo mats that I did. I don't know, they were just looking a little bit boring. So I'm just doing a little quick scribbly border, and a bit too quick here, obviously, because I messed up. So when I mess up like that, I just take my white gel pen and sort of use it as a whiteout, and that works just fine. So same on this photo, bit of outline. I'm going to outline the little banner as well. That really helps that to stand out. And then I'll also go in and sort of add a shadow accent to all the little letters. And while I'm at it, I may as well do a scribbly border around some of these little grids. So it just sort of helps accentuate that whole grid layout that I've got going on, especially on some of the more solid plain patterns. So some of them I'm just doing a solid scribbly border, and then others I'm doing a little stitched border here. And once I've done that, that will be all done. So this was days 12 to 14. I really hope you enjoyed joining me for this little flashback December daily process. Let me know if you enjoy watching these, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.